Okay, guys. This is a series of my trip to Manitoulin Island. I took a backpack trip down Manitoulin Island, and this is my experiences. Spiritual experience, ET, craft, sightings, UFOs, all kinds of fun stuff. Lots happened. A lot of spiritual stuff happened. This was in 2000. Yes, I took the trip. So what happened was I got back from Vancouver. I started working again. Spent years, like 5 or 6 years, working from 94, 95, 6, from 96 to 2000. And I didn't see nothing. I just worked. And I didn't have there was no ET stuff. There was spiritual experiences, but no ET stuff. So I decided, the hell with it, I'm quitting my job. If they don't, I'm going on vacation for 3 weeks. That's it. I decided to do that. Told my boss. I said, if you want me back when I'm done, I gotta go. I'm losing it. In the city, I'm losing it. I can't take it. He said, okay. So I packed my shit and left. So headed off to Manitoulin Island. It was summer, March, April, May, June, July and August. So 1st of July, my cousin and my 2 friends, Jay and Sherry, I think her name was, we went to Manitoulin Island. Now what the plan was, they were going to spend a couple nights camping with me on Manitoulin Island. Then they were going to leave, and I was going to backpack all the way down to South Baymouth over a 3-week period. And I had 150 pounds of food, camera gear, clothes, camping gear, knives, tripod, big ass heavy tripod. And that was the plan. So just enough to survive for 3 weeks, right? And first aid, all your stuff. And I was going by myself. Yeah, awesome, best thing I ever did. So we drive all day. We take the ferry to South Baymouth. We drive all the way up to Mississauga Lighthouse, where I'll show you on here on a Google map. We're at Mississauga Lighthouse. It was really nice. We went in there and had breakfast, lunch or something. We had breakfast. And after that, we grabbed our camping gear, locked the car, and we hiked about 1 mile, 2 miles down the beach. Now the beach is mostly it's flat rock, like flat rock. The beach, and it's like flat rock and then crystal clear water. Beautiful, just beautiful. Pine trees and just beautiful. And we hiked. We went around a little bay full of boulders. Then we came to flat rock, and we were in this nice little hole in the trees, and we camped there for 2 days. So on the first day, we went hiking along the beach, went hiking in the forest, stuff like that. And the second day, we did the same thing. And that night, on the second night, and they were going to leave in the morning. They were leaving in the morning. And so they decided to get drunk. I didn't get drunk. They weren't drunk. We just had some beers, and a shot of whiskey. Jay brought some whiskey with him. So we're sitting around a campfire. It was about 10:30. No, it was about, around 10:30. And we're sitting around a campfire drinking. And then it was dark enough. It was dark enough that we could start to see the stars. You can see the Milky Way galaxy, you can see the stars, all that stuff. So we left the fire late, we walked right up to the water, me and my cousin. And I had my camera on my tripod during the day, just in case any of the animals showed up. I could quickly run there and take some pictures, something like that. So I had the camera on the tripod. I had a 100 to 400 millimeter lens, Tamron lens, and it ain't that much, but it's good enough. And so we're sitting there, and we get up, we go to the lake, and we're looking at the stars out on the lake. And we can see lights out on the lake, like there's buoys, because there's a Lafarge gravel pit. And giant ships, the odd one would come by and have to navigate through the rocks. Well, they put a buoy with a light on it, so it's like a little mini lighthouse, and it'll be way out on the lake, and you can see it blinking. Like that. And that's saying to the ships, don't hit these fucking rocks on the way to the gravel pit and other boats. So as we're sitting there, we're watching this out on the horizon, and we were like looking for stars and meteorites and stuff like that, and galaxy, Milky Way galaxy, you can see it running across. And as me and my cousin, we all of a sudden, there's this one buoy that's blinking really bright out on the water. It's like the brightest point of light out on the water. And we're looking, and it catches your eye all the time, right? As we're looking, all of a sudden, beside the buoy, now I don't know if it was closer or further away. I think it was closer. But beside the buoy, closer to us, this huge, and it was about that big on the water, and I'm looking at it, and I go, that wasn't there a second ago, because we kept looking at that light, right? I'm like, that wasn't there a second ago, and all of a sudden I remembered I saw them, and it was the egg-shaped craft, reddish brown, and it was just sitting there. And I'm looking at it, and all of a sudden my cousin next to me, he goes, do you see that out in the water? And I'm like, yep. he goes, that's a UFO? And I'm like, yep. And I go, I saw the same thing over my house in Chatham. And this thing is about, well, from when I saw it in Chatham when I was a kid, or when I was a teenager, it was about, I don't know, it was big. Anyway, well, it covered about 2 houses and a lawn in a suburb. So there you go. That's how big it was. And it's out on the water now. It's the exact same thing I saw before in Chatham. And I'm freaking. And it's a reddish brown, and it's fuzzy. And it's light. It's like an egg shape. It's fuzzy, reddish brown. And it's sitting there right beside the light. So we have comparison to the light. And it ain't moving. This thing, whatever, well, I know what it is. So we called Jay and Sherry over. So Jay and Sherry come over, and they're all looking at it. We go, look, it's UFO, it's the UFO. It's right there. It just appeared. And my cousin's telling them I'm not. And we're all sitting there, we're looking at it. And it's just sitting there. And it's above the water. It's clearly above the water. And we're sitting there looking at it. For like 3 minutes, and they moved an inch. And I say, and they're talking about it, and I'm thinking, oh, what can I do? I want to get a picture, but it's nighttime, right? And I go, well, I'll just wing it, and hopefully I'll put it on auto and see what we get. Maybe I'll get something. I got a 400, but you can't really do telephoto at night with a 400 millimeter, right? So I run over my camera, I grab it, I pick it up, and I put it down. And I told these guys, I told my cousin Jay and Sherry, I saw this over my house, the exact same thing, the exact same one. And they're like, whoa. And so they don't know. Jay's half pissed, right? Terrell's half pissed. And Sherry's there, and she don't know anything about UFOs or ETs or stuff. And so we're looking over the water, and I go, okay, guys, and I go, I go, I know this stuff. I know this stuff. I go, you watch. This is what happens to me all the time. They go, what? What happens to you all the time? I go, well, I see the UFO, like that one. And I go to point my camera at it. As soon as I point my camera at it, it'll disappear. And they go, no. Well, I go, yeah, well, I go, you watch. And they go, all right. So I got my camera. It's in front of me. But the lens is sticking off to the left. I go, you guys ready? So I pull it out. They pull out the telephoto all the way. Because it's out there on the water a ways. And I pull out the telephoto all the way. And I'm going to take some pics and get video. That's what my plan was. I don't think video would work. But you never know, right? You might get something. And I go, okay, at the count of 3. I'm going to swing the lens. As soon as I swing the lens towards it, it'll disappear. And they go, all right. And so I go, 1, 2, 3. And I swung my lens over like that. And and I could feel the ETs hooking up to me the whole time. It wasn't nothing bad. It was just like a really intense glow in my heart from the spark. And I swung the lens over, and as soon as the lens lined up, boom, it was gone. Just like that. As soon as my eye went into the eyepiece to see it, it disappeared. And I looked over at them and I go, wow. And I go, I know. And so I laughed about that. And then they're just sitting there looking out on the lake. And I go, well, that's that. They ain't coming back. That's it. And then I could feel them over top of us, but they were cloaked. I could feel it. It came from over the lake. The feeling came from over the lake, right over us. It was like the ETs were staring into my heart, and my heart's glowing. I could feel them staring at me, right over us, where our camp is. Then, this is the weirdest thing that happened. This is even weirder than seeing the UFO. We all went, everybody turned, after I said that, everybody turned and went back to the campfire. And I'm sitting and I'm looking at them. I'm feeling the ETs over us, staring at us. The 3 of them sat down in chairs around the campfire like we were before the UFO showed up. They sat there and they just stared at the fire and no one said a word for like a couple minutes. They just sat there looking at the fire. And I'm like, boy, ain't these guys saying anything, right? You just saw a fucking UFO right in your face. I gave you some fucking evidence. And they just sat there staring at the fire. Then Jay goes, well, I'm going to bed. And he finished his beer, and that was it. Our food was already hanging in the trees, so we didn't have to worry about that. And basically, we cleaned up the mess. Well, I did. They just put their beers down and stuff and went to bed. And they just all got up, didn't say a fucking word. Jay said, I'm going to bed. The other 2 followed. Everybody went to their own tents. And here I am sitting here in the middle of the night going, what the fuck just happened? It was weird. It was really weird. Then I'm like, oh my God, they're leaving tomorrow morning. I'm thinking to myself, well, they're leaving tomorrow morning, and here I am for 3 weeks, and I got a backpack all by myself down to South Baymouth. But it's going to be great. I've always wanted to do this my whole life, and the second night here, we get to see a UFO out on the lake. And I'm thinking, I can feel the ETs staring at me. And I'm sitting here by the campfire. I'm looking out on the water. I'm looking around, and I'm going, oh, it's going to be a scary trip. I'm going to be alone out in the middle of fucking nowhere, and the ETs are going to come in the middle of the night. I'm like, oh, Christ. Oh. So anyway, and that's scary. I mean, you could be in the city and the ETs show up over your house and they're staring at you, and it's scary. And I passed out from the fear. But out in the middle of the woods, and there's nobody gonna save your ass. Nobody. No cell phone, no nothing. Just gonna wing it. And so I had this duality of fear for a long time going on in my head. But that was our second night on a 3-week trip, for me anyway. So in the morning, I woke up, I unzipped the tent, and it's morning. These guys are going, Rich, good luck on your trip. We'll see you later. And I'm like, wait a minute. So I go to the fire. I'm making a coffee. They're all packed up, having cigarettes, getting ready to leave, saying their goodbyes to me. Oh my god! And I'm thinking, this is my last chance. And I said to myself, this is my last chance. They're leaving me here all alone. So I gotta go now if I want to go back home. And I'm thinking, oh man, 3 weeks alone out here. And I'm thinking, what if I break my leg? What if the ETs get me? What if? Right? And I'm thinking, oh Jesus Christ. And then I thought, working in Windsor again. And I go, within a week I'll be back in Windsor working again. And I'm like, hell no, I'm staying. You guys leave. I don't care if I die. I don't even care if I die. You get the hell out of here. Go, guys. And so I stayed. They walked away back to their car. And I stayed. And that was it. That was the first experience on the second night. And I had my cousin and 2 friends see the UFO and me predict what was going to happen. And it happened. And it freaked them right out. So I put this Google map here. Google it yourself. Check out the whole island where I walked and all the points of interest. I got about 20 videos coming on just this one trip. So I'm gonna put all the points of interest and show you the maps and everything that I could find, because I had a lot of experiences, spiritual experiences, stuff like that, and awesome stuff, guys. If you're a young kid, get out and do it. Just get out and do it. It'll save your life. It'll turn you into a human real quick. And you want to know, between society and nature, there's rules, and then there's rules. There's nature's rules and society's rules. There's 2 different set of rules. And you'll learn them real quick. And I didn't have a phone. That was my thing. I didn't have a phone. As far as I knew, there was no cell phones back then. And if there were, I didn't have one. I didn't have nobody. I went all by myself. I mean, the only threat that I knew of was the Manitou. And the Manitou was a bad thing that lived on the island. So my Mohawk friend, she told me, she goes, you beware of the Manitou. And I'm like, what the fuck is a Manitou? I'm thinking Sasquatch, right? I'm like, I got bad enough for goddamn Sasquatches running around the woods. And I knew that. And she goes, I'm not going to deal with a fucking Manitou. And then she goes, well, it's a Native American thing that says the Manitou lives on the island. And it'll get you, or something like that. I'll tell you in the next video. But this is what happened. And I'm like, aliens, Bigfoot, Manitous, black bears. I'm like, fucking yay. But that was my UFO experience on Manitoulin Island. And that's how it happened. Awesome experience. And I have 3 witnesses with me. Plus, I put that little bonus in there where I told them, I'll turn the lens and it'll instantly disappear. And as soon as I turned the lens towards it, they instantly disappeared. Now, how does that happen? It happens because they are hooked up to me, my soul. They're seeing through my soul. They know exactly what I'm saying to my friends. They know exactly what's going on with the situation on the ground, just by hooking their spirit up to your spirit. because we're all brothers. We're all one in spirit. They know how to do it better than we do. All right, a lot better. And they were all friendly, all good. They just gave me experience. And the best thing was, I didn't ask for it. I figured it would happen because it always happens when I go to the woods. But I didn't do a CE5. I didn't do any of that stuff. I didn't even think about it. I was more worried about trying to survive the trip. Make sure I had all my medical gear, all my protein, my sugar, all my food and stuff all sorted out for fucking at least over 2 weeks. I carried a lot of stuff. And that's what I was concerned about. I wasn't concerned about the CE5 or anything. And it just happened. So, awesome, man. Great experience. So, let me get this put up. Made up this video. I gotta make up the video and put it through Adobe and everything. Okay. So, see you later, guys.